Hey there, welcome to Jerktart Gaming, and I'm not going to do an average commentary today. I'm actually going to give you guys some tips. This game is going to show me getting a nuke in Rundown, and yeah, we'll see how it goes from there. I'm not going to say a whole lot in the video, it's pretty self-explanatory. I do terrible at the beginning, but I pull it together at the end. First of all, one thing that you want to make sure of, if you have to be really comfortable while you're playing, I mean, the more comfortable you are, the better you're going to be. In my case, I just bought a nice new chair, and even though it's better than my old chair, I haven't found that certain groove yet, and I'm going to be playing like shit for at least a couple days before I really get into it. Going along with that, if you can see the screen, you're obviously going to be doing better. But, I mean, I've tried using a big screen at a friend's house, and I can't do it. I have to take a couple days to at least get used to it, and get into a sort of a norm with that. If you have a headset, that's a huge advantage, just because you have a whole nother sense working at your disposal. If you hear footsteps, you have a good idea if there's guys around, sometimes where exactly they are. So headsets are a good thing to have. Another huge thing is luck. I mean, I hate to say it, but no matter how skilled you are at the game, luck is going to be a big factor that you can't really control. Like teammates that help with enemies that try and flank you. And if you say you have 4 or 5 guys come at you at once, you want teammates that don't necessarily steal your kills, that actually help you like take out the guys that you can't handle on your own. On the flip side, obviously you're going to do a little bit better if people on your other team are bad. Worse players is more kills for you, so you know. And one big problem for me that I find is I don't use cold-blooded, and I usually shoot down UAVs, but sometimes I don't have the time, and it really puts you wide open. But enemies that use UAVs constantly really screws me up, so that's another problem that I have. My preferred build here, and this can be changed in a number of different ways, but I use a TAR-21 with silencer. I find it's a really accurate gun, but the recoil is pretty bad even with the silencer, so you kind of want to clip the trigger really quickly. You don't want to do fully automatic, which I've done a couple times in this video actually. Other guns work great too, the FAMAS, the ACR, the M16. It really depends on your playstyle. The silencer is personally my favorite, but I have seen it done with a heartbeat sensor, even though I think the heartbeat sensor is pretty gay. So for the secondary, I'm using a SPAS 12 here with grip. Secondaries they can go pretty much anyway. Like you could use akimbo models, you can use akimbo PB2000 or Africa, silenced, G18s even. It's really whatever you want to do. I mean, I find that it's nice to have a shotgun because it gives you sort of a close range, as well as your assault rifle long range. But that's beside the point. Stun grenades, again, you can have flashbangs. It's really preference. And claymores, as you can see, I planted a couple claymores in this building here, and I find them really useful. For perks, Scavenger Pro, it gives you a bigger clip, which is nice, especially if you use a gun like the Scar. It really helps. As well, claymores, you pretty much have infinite claymores and ammo, so you don't have to switch guns with someone else. Usually that's not a big problem, but sometimes it's just the gun that you want isn't there, so it does help. Stalking Power Pro, you can do cold-blooded, but I find it's just easier using Stalking Power. And Ninja Pro, it just keeps you off the heartbeat sensors, and you don't have footsteps, which, against people that have headsets, it's a really big advantage. As for killstreaks, in this video I use Pavlo, Chopper, and Nuke, but you could also have Harrier instead of a Pavlo. Harriers are a little easier to call in, and they have the airstrike portion, so that can't be countered. But the cons of that is it can be shot down a lot easier, and the Pavlo is it's a machine, it just wrecks people. As for Chopper versus AC-130, I find it really depends on the map and personal preference. Either one is good though, and obviously the nuke is the last kill streak. For the plan, you want to play every game as if you're getting a nuke. You want to stack your kills, but be really cautious when revealing your position, and play defensively. That being said, if you're playing an objective game, don't be a douchebag and just farm kills. At the very least, try to do so by defending your objectives, or in a way that sort of cuts off your enemies from your objectives. Once you manage to get your first kill streak, called in if your team has no air support up. If your team does have air support up, it's going to stack, and I'm not going to go into it, but it's a bad idea. Don't do it. So at this point you have two options, and I kind of do a little bit of each here. You can camp down and let your air support kill people, or you can roam around and try and get kills on your own. Both are dangerous. If you camp down, people are going to noob tube, they're going to grenade you. So you want to move around just so people don't do that, because it happens a lot. The only problem with that is if you're moving around like normal, you can get killed like normal, you know? So like I said, I do half and a half, but I found a central spot to hold. I set up my claymores, and I take turns hunting and just kind of going back and waiting for people. Your enemy won't know exactly where you are, and you can get jump on them. After you call in your second kill streak, and you feel you're in a safe position, call it in. If you get lucky, it should bring you the rest way to your nuke. If you get shot down, continue hiding and surprising your enemy like I mentioned before. As for my personal history on nukes, I didn't really get a whole lot before this prestige. I didn't really try to get them, but now I've got the same kill streaks equipped every game, except for seeking destroying games like that, and I think I've gotten 8 or 9 this prestige, and I'm planning on getting a couple more. But anyways, I know I've covered a lot here, but thanks for watching, and take care.